My name is Paula Claborn.
My name is Betty Claborn.
Name's Tanner Scott Claborn.
My name is Constable David Hill. I'm Constable Precinct 5, Montgomery County. I've held this office for the past 33 years.
Scott was introduced to me by my aunt. He was working as a jailer up in Anderson County, and we were set up on a blind date, and 6 months to the date later, we were married.
Scott Claborn was like a son to me. He was been in law enforcement some 14, 15 years when he was killed.
He was your upstanding man that would help you out. If you needed a shirt, he'd give you the one off his back. That was the way he was.
He liked helping people. If he thought somebody was in trouble, he liked to reach out and help them. That was just the kind of person he was.
I knew he was a good man and a wonderful husband, and I could see potential, but when we had that baby, oh my God, he was the most amazing father I've ever seen.
From the time I was 5, started school and everything, he, on his days off, Thursday and Fridays, or Fridays and Saturdays, he always made it a point to take me to the donut shop. We'd get kolaches and donut holes for breakfast before he'd take me to school as our little special bonding thing we did.
He was Tanner's whole world.
We were awakened with a phone call that Scott had been in a bad accident and that we needed to get to the hospital as quick as we could.
When we got to the hospital, she parked the vehicle and she took off running toward the building.
It's a hard description when you know that your spouse is injured and you're trying to get there and they're in the medical center and you live, an hour from there.
Betty, he said, I wish that I didn't have to be the one to tell you. But he said, Scott didn't make it.
And for a split second, I didn't even think, oh my God, I'm a 35-year-old widow with a child to raise. That's not what I just started screaming. Oh my God, what am I gonna tell Tanner? And I was screaming it over and over and over again. What am I gonna tell Tanner?
Tanner, your dad was in a car wreck and he's not coming home. That moment it felt like someone ripped my heart in two.
Tonight, Local 2 investigates the death of a deputy constable and the punishment for the drunk driver who killed him.
How do you tell a 9-year-old boy that someone's murdered his father? And not only that, he doesn't really care that he's murdered your father, because on the police report, he said apparently he didn't have enough to drink because he was still hurting.
Ron Hickman assured me, even though he knew the young man that had killed my son, that he would treat him just like anybody else would be treated, and that he would be supportive of me and my family.
I started hearing rumors that Ron Hickman had written to the parole board.
The family of the officer is furious, saying that Constable Ron Hickman betrayed them by supporting parole for the drunk driver who served less than 3 of his 4-year prison sentence.
Ron Hickman had written a letter to the parole board assuring them that he and his department could watch after this young man that had killed Scott.
I find that highly offensive. You're asking your officers to babysit their friend's killer.
How bad does it get?
Promised to keep a good eye on him when he got out, because he lived right around the corner from him, and he's good friends of the family, good Christian boy.
Just because of the unique circumstances, I've known this boy's family, I've known him.
Hickman is a longtime friend of the Fincher family.
I assured my daughter on numerous occasions, I said, Paula, there's not any way under the sun Ron Hickman would write a letter to the parole board to get a man out of jail that had killed one of his officers.
It is flat out betrayal. He is currently sitting as sheriff, appointed by a commissioner's court that my son spoke to and begged not to put as sheriff because of what he did to us.
I assured her he was a man of integrity, and he wasn't.
This rhetoric has gotten out of control.
I don't trust him. I'm sorry, I don't trust him.
We've heard Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. Well, cops' lives matter too.
He's moralless, doesn't deserve to be in any position of power, and if anything, deserves to be in handcuffs.
It's wrong to go to bat for a person who testified under oath that he was blind drunk and running over 100 miles an hour when he killed my son-in-law.
He would pick his friends over you.
I believe Ron Hickman's sole motivation for taking the killer's side over my father's was politically based. Donald Lee Fincher Jr., the man who killed my father's aunt, is Patricia Harless, who is a state representative, and Ron Hickman is her campaign treasurer. They're both huge campaign contributors to each other's campaign.
Fincher's aunt is State Representative Patricia Harless. Hickman has served as her campaign finance treasurer.
It was more of a political favor.
Some say the constable is giving special treatment.
When he was confronted about it, he said no one on either side from either family had asked him to write the letter. He did it on his own accord.
Part of Hickman's letter to the parole board reads, "As a normal course for an incident that killed an officer, I would usually oppose an early release, but in this case, I know enough about the situation to be unable to do that."
He was asked, well, then why write one at all? He just didn't see what was wrong with that.
If he did it to my son, what makes you think that he's not going to do it to everybody else?
You cannot trust Ron Hickman's integrity.
It is an abuse of power.
Ron Hickman never said he was sorry. He never said nothing to me.
I don't think there's anyone that I've ever told this to, and I've told it to everyone that has ever asked me what I think of Ron Hickman. And if Ron Hickman were sitting right here, I'd be saying the same words. The man is not ethical, he is not truthful, and he's not a man.
I have a favorite necklace that Scott got me for Valentine's Day, which was 5 days before he was killed.
This is the last piece of him that I've got. And Ron Hickman can't take that away from me. That's about the only way I can say it. This is something that Scott cherished. He cherished his badge that he wore to work every day. And when they wanted to make me a necklace, I was never in my life so honored to have a necklace with the star from his badge. And it says, "Beloved son," on the back of it. I cherish it.
There's anything I could tell my dad right now. I wish I could tell how much I miss him and how much I wish he was here to be with me and help me through life in general and just be here. But wish I could tell him I love him. Wish I could tell him I'd do anything to see him again, even if it's for another minute. Just tell him goodbye one more time.
I don't know that I have spoken, if I have, I've forgotten it, directly to Donald Lee Fincher Jr. If I have spoken to him, I do not remember it. His mother contacted me during the trial of the wrongful death suit and asked me if I could forgive her son. And I do. I have. Not because he deserves it, but that's what a Christian is supposed to do. I used to not be able to tell the story of losing Scott without tearing up, as I am now. But I've gotten past that. I don't hate Fincher. I hate what he did. I don't hate Ron Hickman. I'm disappointed, very, very disappointed. That man represented represented the state of Texas as president of the JP Constable Association. He represented the nation as the national president of the Constable Association. And he really did not show who he was. He showed who he wanted to be seen as. And I see that as being a total lie and a total letdown to everybody that's ever worn a badge or ever lost anyone in the line of duty.
Channel 2 investigator Bill Spencer has found the most dangerous spots in the Houston area for drunk driving smash-ups.
According to Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, Harris County has the highest percentage of drunk driving fatalities in the United States.
Harris County is the drunk driving capital of the country.
We're going to get you to the jail.
So Channel 2 Investigates pulled 3 years of TxDOT crash records for the entire Houston area. Then we plotted each crash on a map to find the 5 most dangerous areas in our community in terms of drunk driving accidents. Here are the hotspots. Airline Drive between Little York and Aldine Bender is number 5 with at least 6 DWI crashes. At number 4, the Beltway between I-45 and 249.
I think it's very important work. I think people need to know.
When I showed our DWI crash map to the director of MAD, he called it important safety information for anyone driving in our area.
Step back here.
Vital information for police as well.